Welcome to The Explainer. We think of gold as the ultimate symbol of wealth, right? Something dug up from deep within the earth. But what if I told you that its real story begins in the explosive death of stars, and that we might actually be on the verge of running out of it forever? So let's dive in. Let's start with this one question, because it pretty much changes everything. The true origin of gold doesn't start in a mine or even on planet Earth. Nope, it begins way out there in the absolute chaos of the cosmos. You know, to really find where gold comes from, we have to look deep into space, to some of the most violent, most energetic events in the entire universe. Scientists are now pretty much certain that every single atom of gold that exists was forged in the unimaginable heat and pressure of two neutron stars colliding. I mean, think about that. The ring on your finger, the fillings in your teeth, it's all, quite literally, stardust. Okay, so here's the really crucial part. Back when the Earth was just a big molten ball, pretty much all of its own gold sank right down to the core, completely out of our reach. So every single flake of gold we've ever found was actually delivered to the surface billions of years ago by asteroids. We're basically just mining the leftovers from outer space. So after 7,000 years of searching and mining and hoarding this cosmic treasure, how much have we actually managed to collect? Well, the answer might surprise you. The World Gold Council figures this is the grand total, about 213,000 tons. Now that sounds like a colossal amount, doesn't it? But here's the thing about gold. It's incredibly dense, and that's the key. When you start to visualize its actual volume, the picture changes a lot. Think about that for a second. Every single ounce of gold ever mined, from the pharaoh's tombs to the vaults at Fort Knox, it would all fit inside this one cube. I mean, it wouldn't even come close to filling a football stadium. That is the entirety of humanity's golden treasure. Or, to put it another way, you could pour all of it into just 4 Olympic swimming pools. That's it. So for a metal that is this rare, where does it all actually end up? And how we use it is fascinating. You see, while almost half of it goes into making jewelry, the next biggest chunk, we're talking over 40%, isn't really used at all. It's just held by central banks and private investors as a safe store of value. And then there's that tiny but absolutely vital slice for technology, which just goes to show how critical its unique properties are for our modern world. We see gold as this symbol of perfection, of purity, but the reality of getting that precious metal out of the ground, well, it's anything but. I mean, we think of gold medals, golden trophies. It's the universal symbol for being number one, for being the best. But have you ever wondered how much gold is actually in a gold medal? Well, here's the reality check. Ever since the 1912 Olympics, gold medals are really made of silver. They just have a tiny 6-gram plating of pure gold on the outside. Making them out of solid gold just became way too expensive over a century ago. And this right here, this is why. Forget that old-timey image of a prospector with a pan in a river. Modern gold mining is a colossal industry. It's one of the most resource-intensive operations on the entire planet. These mines literally move mountains of rock for a reward that's almost invisibly small. Let's just take a real-world example to see how extreme this gets. The Sukhoi log mine in Russia is the world's biggest undeveloped gold deposit. But look at that last number. The average concentration is just 2.7 grams of gold per ton of rock. To get enough gold just to plate 1 Olympic medal, they have to blast, crush, and process more than 2 tons of ore. So with that much effort involved, you can bet that controlling gold production is a massive geopolitical game. The question is, who's winning the global gold rush? Okay, so if we look at who's pulling the most gold out of the ground right now, China is the clear leader. And right behind them, you've got Australia and Russia, who are basically neck and neck for the number 2 spot. But this is just a snapshot of today. This chart, this is the one that tells us about the future. When you look at the known economically viable reserves still left in the ground, the picture totally shifts. Australia and Russia have a commanding lead. Between them, they control nearly 40% of the world's entire future gold supply. And this all leads to the biggest, most critical question of all. With all these finite deposits and our ever-improving technology, are we actually starting to run out of gold we can mine? Here's the number that geologists are watching very, very closely. About 59,000 tons. That's it. That's the total amount of gold left in the ground that we know how to get to profitably. To put that in perspective, it's less than 30% of what we've already dug up. And this timeline, this really puts it into stark perspective. Major players like Goldman Sachs are forecasting that at the rate we're going, these known reserves could be completely gone within our lifetime. We're talking 20 to 30 years. It's a concept called peak gold, the point of no return where global production starts to decline for good. You see, the gold itself is basically indestructible. A coin minted by the Romans could easily still be around today, but our ability to find new gold, that's running out. So it leaves us with one final massive question. When that last mine finally closes forever, what will a single ounce of this eternal star-forged metal be worth in a world where the only supply is what we've already found?